All right, guys, so the first video we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about finding the surface area of pyramids. So before we go to a couple examples, I just have some vocab words that we need to get out of the way of when we're talking about pyramids. So the first thing is you have all of the sides of the pyramid join at this top point, and we call this top point an apex. Another vocab word that you're going to have to know is you're going to have to know slant height. So they like to know slant height and they like to label it as L. So slant height is just the height that goes along the edge of a side that still hits at a 90-degree angle. So that's going to be your slant height. And then you have the perimeter of your base. So that's the same thing that you guys really know what that means. Perimeter is just the area or the side, the length around the base. So your perimeter is going to be the lengths, all of those sides added up together. And then the last thing that you guys have to know is this big B is the area of the base. So they basically found the area of all of this inside, and that's what they're going to label as the big B. Okay, so then we have two formulas. This first formula is for the lateral area, and the bottom one is for the surface area, which are really similar to each other, but there's only two differences. So I'm going to just move down here and write them down. So surface area, actually, let's start with lateral area. Lateral area is just the area of all of the sides. So that does not include the base. So it's just the area of all of the sides of your pyramid, not the base. Whereas the surface area is then all of that lateral area, so all of the area of the sides plus the base. So we've got surface area is lateral area plus the area of the base, so that big B. Okay, so those are the only two differences. You've got lateral area is just sides, surface area is all of the area in your entire shape. Okay, so let's go through some examples here. So example number one says, find the surface area of each pyramid below. So the formula that we're gonna have is we're finding surface area. So it is going to be this first formula right here. So surface area is 1/2 the slant height, so the L, times the perimeter of the base plus the base. So let's just write that down. So we've got surface area equals 1/2 lateral height perimeter plus area of the base. Okay, so for this first one, we've got 1/2. We have our lateral height is this 11.7, so times 11.7. And then it looks like the bottom of our figure is a square because both sides are 8. So these are both going to be 8 as well. So if I add all of that up, that's the same thing as doing like 8 times 4 plus the area of our base, which the area of our base in this problem is going to be 8 times 8 or 8 squared. And then we're just going to plug that in our calculator and it's going to give us the surface area. So I'm going to do 11.7 times 8, and then just make sure you're using parentheses, times 4, and then all of that is going to be divided by 2. So I've got 187.2. And then I'm going to add to that 8 squared, which is 64. So I'm just going to add, and it's going to take this original answer, and it's going to add 64 to it. So then this tells us that our surface area for this problem is going to be 251.2. And since we're talking about area, this is going to be in meters squared. So all of your answers should have your units squared for these problems. Okay, example number 2 is very, very similar. So surface area again is just 1/2 lateral height. So in this problem, our lateral height is 7.4. The perimeter, it looks like this is a square again. So these are all 5s. And then we just find the area of the base by multiplying. So this surface area is going to be 1/2 times the lateral height, which is 7.4, times the perimeter. So in this one, it's going to be 5 times 4 of those side lengths, plus the area of the base, which in this case is 5 squared. And then we're just going to plug all of that in. So we've got 7.4 times 5 times 4 divided by 2, so that we're multiplying by that 1/2. So that becomes 74 plus 5 squared, which is 25. So I'm just going to do plus 25. And then we get our surface area for this one is going to be 99 inches. And then remember, it's squared because we're talking about area. Okay, then we get to 3, and this is going to be a little bit different because what they gave us is they gave us the actual height of the pyramid. Oh, we forgot to mention that one. So the height of the pyramid is the height that goes down to the center of the pyramid. So it's actually like the height of the whole thing instead of the height of the side. So in problem number 3, this is going to be our height of the pyramid. And if we're trying to find surface area, we need the slant height. So the slant height is this height. that hits on the edge of this side at a 90 degrees. And so what we're creating here is we're really creating this 90-degree right triangle that we know some of the side lengths of, so that we're able to find the actual slant height. So it looks like the bottom's a square again. So again, all of these sides are 16. And if it's a square, that means that this length is going to be cut in half when I drop the height down in the middle. So that means this part of my triangle is going to be half of 16. So this is going to be 8. And then I know the height they're labeling as 3, so then I can use the Pythagorean theorem to find my slant height. So I set this up as 3 squared plus 8 squared equals slant height squared. And then I just have to take the square root of both sides. So if I plug that in, we're going to do the square root of 3 squared plus 8 squared. And then that gives me my slant height is about, and let's just round to 2 decimal places, 8.54. And then I'm going to just use the formula. So now I have everything I need to find the surface area. So again, it's surface area equals 1/2 slant height. So in this case, that's 8.54 times the perimeter of the base. So 16 times 4 plus the area of the base, which is 16 squared. Now we just go plug it all in. So 8.54 times 16 times 4 divided by 2. So this comes out to be 273.28 plus 16 squared, which is 256. And then we just add those together. So 256 plus 273.28. And then that gives us that our total surface area for this problem is going to be 529.28 feet squared. Okay. All right, then we're gonna get into these other ones that have different bases. So far the bases of our pyramids have been squares, where when we look at problem number 4 here, the base of this pyramid is a triangle. So we're still gonna do this in the same way, but the area of the base is going to change. So surface area is still 1/2 times the lateral height times the perimeter of the base plus the area of your base, or that big B. Okay, so let's just break this up into a couple of steps. Let's first find the area of your base. So the triangle, remember when we find the area of triangles, it's base times height divided by 2. So if this is my base, it looks like this is going to be the base of my triangle, and then this is going to be the height of my triangle. So it's going to be 10 times 8.7 divided by 2. So if I plug that in, then we get the area of our base is 43.5. And then it looks like we have all of the other information to plug into surface area. So we have the perimeter of our base is just 10 times 10 times 10. We have our slant right here is 6.7. So now we can just plug it in. So we've got surface area equals 1/2. Slant height was 6.7. Perimeter of my base was 10 is 3 10, so 30. And then we're going to add to that the area of the base, which is 43.5. Okay, so we've got 6.7 times 30 divided by 2, so 100.5, and then we're going to add to that 43.5. So we get total surface area for this one is going to be 144 inches squared. Okay, number 5 is very similar as well. So we've got a triangular based pyramid. It gives us the height of the triangle is 6.1. The base of the triangle is 7. It gives us a slant height of 12.2. So it looks like we're going to do the same steps as the first problem. So let's start by finding the area of the big base. So we've got base of my triangle, which is 7, times the height of the triangle, which is 6.1, dividing by 2. So 7 times 6.1 divided by 2. The area of that base is going to be 21.35. And then I'm just going to plug it all into our surface area formula. So surface area equals 1/2 slant height, which in this case is the 12.2, times the perimeter, which is 7 times 3, so 21, plus the area of the base, which we got was 21.35. So now we're just going to plug all that in. So 12.2 times 21 divided by 2. So 128.1 plus 21.35. And then that gives us our total surface area is 149.45, and this one was centimeters squared. Okay, we have one last one. So this is a pyramid that has a base that is a regular hexagon, it looks like. So we're gonna set it up the same way. So surface area equals 1/2 the slant height, which we have in this case is 11.3, times the perimeter, plus the area of the base and the area of the base they gave us. So we don't have to calculate that regular hexagon. Okay, so we've got 1/2, slant height was 11.3. Perimeter, it looks like all of these are 6 because it's a regular hexagon. So that means we're gonna do 6 times 6, and that'll give us the perimeter of our base. And then we're gonna add to that the area of the base, which they gave us was 93.53, so we don't have to calculate that. And then we just plug it in, so 11.3 times 6 times 6, which is times 36, divided by 2. And then we got 203.4, and then we're gonna add to that 93.53. So then that gives us our total surface area for this one is gonna be 296.93 yards squared. Okay, so remember surface area is just the area around the outside and the base of each of these pyramids. So that's your guys' first video. You're gonna do practice problems like this, and then I'm gonna do the next video that's gonna walk you through cones and how you do surface area of cones. All right, guys? I will talk to you soon.